what's up, hello? My name is Emma, and today I'm starting a wintry reading vlog. It is winter, and I am reading books, and I am vlogging it. I want to give a big shout out to HarperCollins for kindly sponsoring this video and sending me one of my most anticipated books of 2020 to read in this vlog, and that is The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. The Hand on the Wall is the third and final installment in the Truly Devious series, and as the conclusion is now out and in stores, the entire series, the whole trilogy, is available for your binging pleasure. If you have not heard me talk about Truly Devious, it means you're probably pretty new here, but it is a YA mystery series that takes place across a dual timeline. The whole story is set at an elusive boarding school in Vermont, and the first part of the story takes place in 1936, where we are following the founder as his wife and daughter have recently been kidnapped, as well as there being another murder on campus, and the only evidence left from it is a letter signed Truly Devious. Nearly a century passes, the case has gone cold until Stevie Bell arrives at Ellingham Academy with the intention of studying true crime, but also solving the disappearances and murders from all those years ago. I've been reading the series since the first book came out, and I absolutely adore the first two installments in this series, so I'm really excited to read The Hand on the Wall and give you all my thoughts on the conclusion. And the other book I am going to be reading in this reading vlog is one I have already started, and that is Lair of Dreams by Libri, and this is the second book in the Diviners series. The Diviners is an absolute favorite series of mine. It is a paranormal mystery that takes place in 1920s New York City. It follows a large, diverse cast of characters who have all found themselves in New York, and a lot of them have different magical abilities that they have spent most of their lives hiding. This is a reread for me. I already know that I love Lair of Dreams, and while I'm currently coming up on being halfway through the audiobook, I'm loving it so much. January Lavoie does an amazing job narrating these books, but also I love everything from the writing and the characters to the plot, so it is just all around a great time. So I'm going to be diving into these two awesome mystery stories for this reading vlog, and I will be keeping it spoiler free so you don't have to have read either of these books to hear my thoughts. But I am ready to be spooked and surprised, and I can't wait to find out what happens. Well, I know what happens in this one, but I'm so incredibly excited to find out what happens in The Hand on the Wall. So my car is so dirty. I mean, so dirty. So I need to wash it, but I'm going to listen to my audiobook while washing it and vacuuming it, and he's gonna be so nice and clean after. But I'm very excited, especially to get some more audiobook listening done. So I wanted to give you guys a little final first day update on this wintry reading vlog. So with Lair of Dreams, I'm not sure exactly where I started today, but I did get a decent amount of audiobook listening in, and now I'm exactly halfway through basically. Something I've noticed with Lair of Dreams is I think I'm actually liking it more than book one, The Diviners, which is surprising because I adore that book so much. I think it's because the story just feels more solid and grounded than book one. We're being introduced to so many of the characters and the worlds, and things are already set in motion in book two. So it's nice to follow all of these different storylines and already have an attachment to the characters and what's going on with them. And I started The Hand on the Wall today. I didn't actually check how far I got. I'm 26 pages in, which is pretty good for me. I started off today by reading recaps of the first two books in this series, which I feel is a very underrated tool to have as a reader. I'll link the two I used in the description if you are also about to dive into The Hand on the Wall and want just a little bit of a general refresher. A lot of times you can just Google the title and recap, and more often than you'd think, you'll get a pretty good detailed summary that will totally refresh you. Along with that, the main thing I have to say about The Hand on the Wall is a lot of it, the 25 pages I've read, have been a lot of setup, but I've appreciated that because it is giving me more context for what happened at the last book, and I forgot so much about this series that I didn't realize, so I feel better going into it now. I didn't actually read the synopsis, so I'm gonna read that really quick. So I'm sure I'll have some more thoughts for you tomorrow, but tonight I'm gonna aim to read at least a chapter or two. So I'm very proud of myself as I read not one but two chapters, and I'm now on page 45, but I just needed to say, holy plot twist. The last line of that chapter was so unexpected, and honestly I
don't even know how it makes sense, but I'm very intrigued to continue reading.
Good morning. It is the next day. I did not update you guys a lot yesterday as I worked all day, and then immediately from work, like, I left early to go see my friend's band play, and like before I knew, it was midnight and I just didn't get a lot of reading done after work, but I'm like very satisfied with what I read of both The Hand on the Wall and Lair of Dreams at work yesterday. With Lair of Dreams, I would say I'm maybe like 56% in. Like, that honestly might be a little generous because it's a really long audiobook, but I made a little bit of progress. One thing I noticed about Lair of Dreams is that there's so many perspectives, and it's funny because that was like the main thing I did not like about The Diviners when I first read it, because like historically at the time, I just never really vibed well with books that followed so many different characters' perspectives, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I love watching the relationships develop between Memphis and Theta, and of course Sam and Evie. Oh, and Henry and Ling too. I forgot how much I really appreciated their relationship. It's super fun. It's got all the glitz and glamour of the decade of decadence from the 1920s, but it also deals with more intense topics like immigration and eugenics and like the Chinese Exclusion Act. There's like so much deep stuff talked about in the Diviners series, which is why I think it's incredible. So yeah, having a grand old time with my reread. I have made more progress on The Hand on the Wall, which I'm really, really loving. If you've been following my channel for the last like 3 years at this point, like, y'all know I loved Truly Devious from the beginning. I liked The Vanishing Stair even more because I felt a deeper connection with the characters. Like, that's what stood out to me. And also I thought the mystery was fantastic. And so far, like, I'm still only like a little bit into The Hand on the Wall. I'm like 90 pages in about. And I feel even more connected with this book than the past two. Something funny that I was thinking about yesterday while I was reading at work is, like, I get the point of the series is for Stevie to obviously investigate these murders and make the connections and find out not only who did it or who done it in 1936, but also like these murders that have been happening while she's been at Ellingham Academy. But in The Hand on the Wall, Stevie is just like constantly, like, her life is consumed by these mysteries and these murders. And like, while I love it because it's such an entertaining story and a well-crafted mystery, I'm starting to feel bad for her. I'm like, I just want this girl to relax and self-care and have some normal teenage fun, and she's just thinking about all this gruesome dark stuff 24/7. I have a fun day ahead of me that I'm excited to take you along with. I'm going into the city with my best friend Michael, and we are going to the Museum of Ice Cream, which is a little Instagram pop-up. We're going to take lots of photos, and I'm going to be reading The Hand on the Wall as I take the train in today. So hopefully I'll get a nice chunk of reading done. I have been so bad at giving you guys like end of day updates, but we're just rolling with it. I'm actually sad because I really wanted to get a clip of Michael telling you his thoughts on Hand on the Wall because he has already read it, but I do know that he really enjoyed it as well. But I figured I would just give you like a little, like, not a reading update, but like a what's going on in my life today update. And then we'll talk a little bit more about my current reads later. So today is my first day back at school for this semester. It is spring semester. I've got 2 new classes, and I'm starting my internship this week. So life's a little busy right now. If I'm honest, I'm feeling a tad overwhelmed. It'll all be fine. I'll get used to it and find my footing. I am trying to use this new semester as like a good opportunity to restart and pick back up some old habits that worked really well for me. And one of them is reading on my breaks during school and reading on my lunch break. Those are two things that I like really slacked at when I was in school last semester. And when I was an undergrad, I used to always get so much reading done specifically in those times. So I think I'm just gonna like try today. Like, let's see if I can read in between like the 10 minutes in between my two classes and on my lunch break. I know I like always tell you guys in reading vlogs that I'm gonna read and I'm gonna do this, and I never do, but I'd really like to hold myself accountable and do it today.
Good evening. It is 1 a.m., so technically I guess it's morning, and I am just a floating head. I had a long day at work and school, and I'm ready to settle in for bed for the night. Surprisingly, class and work went really well today. I had like a really good day, and I also got a good amount of reading done. I'm now about like 67% into Lair of Dreams, which I believe. I'll give you guys like a more comprehensive update tomorrow. But I did notice that my library loan is apparently due in like less than 2 days, so I either really gotta finish it or I'm crossing my fingers that they'll let me take it out before it expires again. As for The Hand on the Wall, I am 130 pages in. 138. I feel like you can understand what I just said. Still really loving it. One of the things I've always really appreciated about the Truly Devious series is that like it's a boarding school book that really feels like it's set at a boarding school. I love a boarding school book. It's one of my favorite tropes. I think it just has to do with like the excitement of being away at some place with your friends, getting into all these shenanigans. That has just like, it's always been a YA trope I really love. That being said, I've read a good share of boarding school books that don't actually feel like they're set at a boarding school. It's like small and remote, and the students are pretty close knit. And because Ellingham Academy is like all about like taking gifted students and allowing them to study whatever it is that they're passionate about and talented with, it just makes the whole book feel very eclectic. So I'm like coming up on being halfway through, and I'm really enjoying my time reading it right now. I feel very present and engaged, which is what I need at the moment with just getting back into school. Speaking of school, I didn't say that before, but I did actually succeed in my goal of reading not only on my lunch break, but also on my breaks in between classes. I can't say I garnered a lot of pages read in that time, but the fact that like I took the time to sit down and take out my book, like I even went to the other side of the room during one of my breaks because I was like, I'm gonna read on this break. And I felt really good about it. It made me feel more productive today. So I'm really hoping that I can carry this and keep it up for the rest of the semester, or at least like, let's just like let myself do it next week too. That would be enough for me. So yeah, I'm going to read a chapter or two and then go to bed. And then tomorrow I'm like doing some running around, some errands, lots of driving. So I'm sure I'll get some Lair of Dreams listening done, and I'll update you more tomorrow. All right. So I'm actually really invested in reading tonight. I've already read like 4 chapters, and I know I should go to sleep, but I really just want to stay up and read. I love getting into nights like this as a reader. It's like really satisfying when you haven't stayed up late reading in a long time, and then you do. It's the best. But I just finished what I think might have been chapter 13. And I was just thinking about the fact that I've really grown to like Stevie and David's relationship. In the beginning, in like book 1, I wasn't super sold on the romance. Like, it was fine, but I didn't have a lot of feelings about it. And I did like it more in The Vanishing Stair as well. But now I'm just realizing that I really like them together. I like their banter. I like their dynamic. Something about them is really interesting. Like, I feel like they have a lot of elements that remind me of like classic YA couples, but there's also something really refreshing about them too. So yeah, I really have like absolutely no complaints. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying my time reading The Hand on the Wall. So I think I'm gonna give myself this one last flashback to 1937, and that'll be like a good stopping point for me tonight. But believe me, I like really want to stay up and read another 4 chapters.
Good morning, or I think it's technically afternoon now. Oof, the day has gotten away from me. Honestly, I've read a lot since I last updated you, but I feel like I don't have a ton to say. This is where it gets difficult, like talking about the third book in a series, but I'm trying my best. What I will say is my mom came home on her lunch break today and she finished Truly Devious and she really, really liked it. And I know she really liked it because when my mom will start like a series that I recommended her, even if she like really, really loves it, she likes to switch things up and read different things in between each installment. But she came home, immediately asked for The Vanishing Stair, book 2 in the Truly Devious series. I forgot how far I got into Lair of Dreams. I should have checked that before I started filming on my phone. But I'm making some good progress. I'm loving it. Like, it's a reread, so I already know that I fully enjoy the story. Oh my gosh, there was a super heartbreaking moment that I knew was coming, of course, but it hit me right in the feels again. What I'm going to do right now is I have some extra time before I go to my internship today, so I am going to stretch. I've been having a bad body image day. I'm not like super happy with myself, and so I feel like I just like have some energy that I need to get out of me, and stretching always makes me feel really, really nice. So yeah, so I'm going to stretch and listen to Lair of Dreams, and I think it'll be a really good way for me to start off my day. It's a new day. I have work today. I have like a long day at work today. So I'm not sure how much reading I'm going to get done, but I have 12 hours left in my Lair of Dreams audiobook hold at the library. And I have less than 4 hours left of the audiobook. I have like so little confidence that I'll be able to finish it, but I'm gonna try. It's not impossible. Like, I've listened to way more of an audiobook in one day before. It's just that I have to stay committed and basically listen like every possible opportunity that I can today. All right, I got until like 9 p.m. because it's about 9 a.m. right now. So we'll see. Wish me luck. So I'm really sorry that I've spent so much of this vlog just in my room. Honestly, the reason is because this is a wintry reading vlog. It is really cold everywhere else in my house, and I have a nice heater in this room, so I'm able to keep it super warm. So that's why I'm always in here. So before I head to bed, I need to give you a little update on how my reading goal went for today, or I should say my listening goal, and I completed Lair of Dreams. I'm really proud of myself. Like, I'm thoroughly impressed. I did not think I was going to accomplish this, but I was just listening to it a little bit more at work than I thought I was, and I listened to it on my way home and when I got home, and I finished it. Naturally, I loved it. What I specifically love about the ending of Lair of Dreams is that finally all of the characters come together for the first time, I feel, in this whole series. The Diviners follows a lot of characters, and especially in Lair of Dreams, they sort of like pair off, and we have multiple different storylines following groups of like 2 to 3 people. But in the end, all the storylines come together and they begin to work towards like one common goal as a group. And I just really loved watching that unfold. It makes you think about so many other series that I love that have a big cast and multiple different storylines. And I feel like I haven't appreciated those moments where they really are all together enough. And also the ending of Lair of Dreams, like the last chapter / epilogue, always blows me away. Okay, my phone's being weird, so I'm laying down to finish recording this. Essentially, I love the ending. I love the book overall. If you have not started the Diviner series yet, it is like at the top of my recommendations list. If you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts on Lair of Dreams, I will link the live show to the Diviners Club discussion
for Lyra Dreams with Sarah Without an H and Monica Kim. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with my reread. Now I'm going to snuggle up into bed and read a little bit more of Hand on the Wall before I go to bed tonight. So one thing I did while reading today is I sort of went back almost to like the very beginning of the book and sort of just gave myself like a comprehensive refresher on all the things that happened in like 1935 to I think 1937 we're at now. And I realized I love the flashbacks in this book. But the dual timeline in this series is fantastic. And now I feel like I really just need to go back and read through those chapters in the first two books again, because I feel like I didn't appreciate it enough the first time. I guess I just didn't realize how invested I was with Albert Ellingham and Iris Ellingham and George Marsh and Leonard Nair. Like, I didn't realize how connected I was to their story because I was so preoccupied with Stevie and David and Janelle and Nate. So yeah, I'm just feeling good about that. So I've got like 100 pages left in the Hand on the Wall. So right now my mom is going to dye my hair, same color, nothing crazy. You'll see it in a minute. But I always read while she does it. So I'm going to hopefully get some progress done.
So Mom,
Yes, Emma.
you have been reading Truly Devious and now The Vanishing Stair, right?
I'm only like 100 pages into Vanishing.
Yeah, but you just recently finished Truly Devious.
Correct.
So what did you think of them?
I liked it very much. I got into it very quickly.
Really, that's good.
Yeah, that's always a good thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the main character's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Stevie.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of me, because the way that I always liked true crime when I was a teenager.
Yeah, and the whole anxiousness stuff too.
Yeah.
I love the time change that it goes from when the original murder happened and then back to what's happening at the school now. I haven't figured out exactly what's going on. I kind of like David.
I like David too.
Yeah,
he
I
really
like
grew
him.
on me.
Yeah, he's like his own kind of person.
So this is how my hair turned out. It's like a little bit darker than normal, and I always like to go a little bit darker the first time, but I'm really happy with it. Shout out to emmmabooks for always dyeing my hair. But I read a lot of The Hand on the Wall, so I want to give you a little update. I'm currently on page 316. I got so much reading done while dyeing my hair and waiting for it to set. And so now I'm less than 100 pages left. I have maybe like 70. I feel like we hit a climax, not the climax, like maybe one of the multiple climaxes of the story, because there's still so much left that has to be uncovered. I really loved this big suspenseful scene that we came upon because I did not know how things were going to go, and it was a nice change of pace from the story. And something else that really stood out to me about that scene is it was like a big moment of development between Stevie and David for their relationship. And we didn't get like a ton of interaction for them from like the past two books, I feel. But in this book, like in that scene, I feel like they grew so much, and I loved their interaction, and it was really great for that reason. And I feel like a lot of The Hand on the Wall has been unexpected. I feel like this mystery is not going the way any readers would have expected. I feel like Maureen Johnson has taken some risks and really gone the unpredictable route. Some people might not like that because a lot of readers like to be comfortable and they like to read what's familiar, what they can predict. But I feel like Maureen Johnson is just such a clever plotter, and all of the things that she has come up with are not things that I ever would have anticipated myself. So as a reader, that's something I really appreciate. Right now, I'm gonna head out and do some training at my studio today, and then later tonight, I have some schoolwork that I want to get done, but I'd really love to end the night in bed reading The Hand on the Wall, so we'll see how much I can get done. So it is 1:45 in the morning. I have work tomorrow, but I just finished The Hand on the Wall. Ugh, I just wanted to film a clip to just say I finished it, and that I of course really loved it. But tomorrow I'll definitely film a clip talking about everything I loved about it. But wow, it was such a satisfying conclusion.
So, as I said last night, I finished The Hand on the Wall. I'm really pleased with how much I enjoyed this book. I feel like lately, with a lot of YA series I've been reading, the conclusion has been a bit of a letdown, or at least has not been as good as the previous installments. So I'm extremely glad that The Hand on the Wall held up for me. The reason I'm a little conflicted is because I'm fully aware that in a classic murder mystery story, the ending scene where the detective reveals exactly how they came to all of the conclusions and they expose and lay out all of the evidence, like, that scene is a staple for a lot of mysteries, and it's what happens in The Hand on the Wall. I prefer to read the story and find out the mystery along the way, so it's just a personal preference of mine. I firmly believe that everything is wrapped up, all the questions are answered, and everything you want to be addressed is addressed by the end of the story, so it was very satisfying in that way. So I'm so pleased that not only have I finished the Truly Devious series, but I thoroughly enjoyed each and every installment, and I feel like that's something really special. Oh man, it just occurred to me, I haven't chosen a favorite in the series yet. You know, I'm always really partial to the first book in a series. There's something about that first introduction to a new story, new characters, a new world that always really sticks with me. But being completely honest, like, these three books are really at a very close, similar level, and like I said before, that's been pretty rare for me lately. That concludes this reading vlog, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you again to Epic Reads for sponsoring this video, and be sure to check out The Hand on the Wall and the Truly Devious series. In the comments below, I would love to hear about what books you have been reading this winter, but that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!